Right, hello everybody, welcome to France Pilates for another, hour, just under an hour session. I hope you're okay. Make sure you've got your mats, any equipment you'd like to use, your grips, light weights if you want to add a little bit more intensity, your ball and your exercise bands, the activation band to work your core more, and your rubber bands to add a little bit more general conditioning if you like. Okay, so stand nice and tall, focus on your posture as normal, and remember to achieve that posture, we need to lift the chest or the rib cage up. So try not to remain in this sort of position, just chin back, lift that rib cage, open up the chest, and think about your posture. Lengthen through the top of the head, nice long neck, shoulder blades back and down, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, draw those abdominals in. And remember, not just the abdominals, particularly if you've got the band, engage the core, push out against your band to engage more core muscles there. All right, so let's warm up as usual. Stand at the end of your mat. 3 points of connection in the spine, neutral spine position, up onto the toes, breathing in, breathing out. Heels back down, draw the abdominals in, hinge the hips back, push them back without arching the back, draw the abdominals in so you're lengthening the lumbar spine, and just want you to relax the arms, the head, the neck, the shoulders. Try and keep the abdominals in, relaxing the upper body. And remember, we're just trying to do a warm-up stretch here for the back of the legs, the calves, the thighs, your buttock muscles and your low back. So don't force anything at this point, just straighten the legs until you get a nice stretch there. Breathing in, breathing out, slowly coming up, draw the abdominals in, opening up the spine, keep the chin tucked in. So you're getting a nice stretch there in the back of the neck. Okay, and again, neutral spine position. Chin retracted, 3 points of connection, up onto the toes, breathing in, breathing out. Draw the abdominals in, hinge the hips back, and relax the upper body. Relax the arms, head, neck and shoulders, and just straighten the legs just enough so you get a warm-up stretch there, a little bit of a stretch. Breathing in, breathe out, draw the abdominals in again. Focus on opening up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Tuck the chin in, all the way back. Great, all right, to your start position. So core muscles engaged, posture, 3 points of connection, chin retracted, and then just start to relax those shoulder joints, breathing in and out. So try and practice breathing if you can. So breathe in as you start the movement, breathe out, and that's where you draw the abdominals in, remind your core, remember? And just going back a few weeks, we did our advanced Pilates breathing. So if you can keep your core muscles in, keep them in all the time, and then breathe in and out. You'll work a lot harder. You'll be engaging the core all the time. All right, so give that a go. If you can coordinate it, and then just roll those shoulders back. Nice big movement. Start off small, make it a little bit bigger. Good. All right, hands on the shoulders. So continue that movement, that circling, loosening up the shoulders, opening up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Again, no hunching, leading with the elbows all the way back. Good, and then the arms, relax the shoulders, raise the hands. Breathing out, stretching up all the way back, arms behind you. And again, remember pelvic floor, buttock muscles engaged, the core, breathing in, breathing out, stretching up. Try and have your elbows level with the ears for your posture if you can. And then we're just going to reach up a little bit more. Draw the abdominals in as you do it. And then all the way back. Good, arms behind you, shrug the shoulders and relax the shoulders down. Breathing in. Remember with this, even with this warm up, the shrugging, do you remember we did it the other week? We added our light weights in here to work some of our important back muscles. So you can always add that in if you want to. Doesn't really work with the bands. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep the shoulder blades back and down. That's it. And then just one and the other. So lifting one and then the other. Just added a little bit of intensity there, working the back muscles a little bit more if you want to. Good. Okay, so shrugging and then just taking it to the side. Again, you can add the weights in here if you want to, a little bit more for the back muscles, up to you. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, all right, holding it there. Chin retracted, and then relax the head forwards and back. Keep the shoulders down, breathing in, breathing out. And up and down. Head forwards, chin to the chest. Up and down. And then sideways, jaw up to the ceiling. And the breathing in, breathing out. Keep the shoulder down, feel that stretch in the neck. Nice and slowly, breathing in, breathing out. Good, turn the head to the side, keep the shoulders facing the front. And then roll that head forwards, brush the chin to the chest. Up to the other side, look over the shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice and slowly. To the centre, and relax the ear to the shoulder, add your arm in, breathing out. Good, and the other side, breathing in, breathing out. Good, and then hands behind the head, bring the head forwards. And slowly come up. Great, okay, so we're going to have our hands behind our ears or on our shoulders, it's up to you. It's a little bit more challenging with the hands behind the ears, it's up to you. If you find that uncomfortable at all, you can always bring the hands sort of down to this position. So we're isolating our rib cage, we're working on our upper body mobility, chin retracted, elbows back, breathe in, breathing out. So try and move that rib cage. If you find it pulling on your back, bend your knees a little bit more, tuck the hips under, so you're not pulling on your back. We're focusing on the rib cage and the shoulder blades here. So elbows back. If you find it too much, bring the hands down on the shoulders, as I said, or even just like this position, and just work on that movement there. And then we're going to rotate. So we're here, breathing in, breathing out. So feet, knees and hips facing the front. Move the chest, keep the arms back, the elbows back, and you really will start to work your upper body posture here, the shoulder blades, the back muscles, keeping that posture, just working on that upper body mobility, breathing in, breathing out. Try not to let this elbow come forwards, chin back, just get that moving there, breathing in, breathing out. There. And we're going to hold it there, take the arms back a little bit more, and then stretch them out. I want you to really stretch from the spine. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And back, and the other side. Turn the other way, elbows back. Reaching out, stretch the arms. Great, and back. All right, take the arms in front. Stretching forwards. Turn the hands inside out, open that upper back. Reaching up, and then we're going to go over into our side bends. Nice and slowly. Again, lifting up from the rib cage, elbows level with the ears. Breathing in, breathing out. Stretching across and back. Up and back. Push the hips out in the other direction. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. And then back of the arm stretch. So hand down your back, elbows back, breathing in, breathe out, stretch down. And the other way. Okay, so we're going to go into our side lunge inner thigh stretches. So again, by all means, use the band, have the band ready, or the weights when we go into our hip flexor stretch. So just have it by the side of you here if you need to. Okay, so legs as wide as it's comfortable for you. Squat the hips back, sink the hips back as you go into that side lunge, keeping your 3 points of connection, breathing in, breathing out. So remember, the hips go back first, keeping your back, your shoulder blades back and down, chin retracted. Always keep the hands behind you if you need to. Breathing in, breathe out, hips back first. That's it. So take the legs as wide as you need to get a stretch in the inner thigh. Entirely up to you. Breathing in, breathing out, core muscles, chin retracted, Got that stretch here, inner thigh, breathing in, breathing out. Good, hold it one side. Legs a little bit wider. Now turn the feet out. Again, as far as it's comfortable, you still need to keep that knee alignment with the knee level with second or third toe. And then sink your hips back a little bit more for a deeper stretch. Good. And then swap to the other side, bring the foot back in. Swap back. Turn the feet out. Good, fantastic. Okay, we're going to turn to the side into our hip flexor stretch. Again, if you want to use the exercise band or the weights here, just grab them now. That's it. So we're going to turn sideways into our hip flexor position. So activating your hip flexor. This is the muscle here, very important for your lower back. And again, because we're stooped forward so much, this gets very tight. So it's about lengthening that out, redressing that action. Okay, so arms up in the air, elbows level with the ears. Again, no hunching. Shoulder blades back and down. Breathing in, breathing out. Curl the hips under, draw the abdominals in, and I want you to reach up from the chest to the shoulder blades, and then we're going up and over. Draw the abdominals in. Add as much resistance as you need to. Here, a little bit more if you want. And then, because we do, this works your back muscles as well. So this time, as you come over to the side, hold it there and bring the lower arm down a little bit. Keep the arm slightly behind you, so you're working your back muscles, lats, very important. And we'll go up and over. Same thing, bring that arm down, breathing in, breathing out. Tip the pelvis under, back muscles working, and then back, lifting the chest up and back. Add a bit more resistance here if you want to. Wind the band up a little bit more if you want to. Tip the pelvis under, draw the abdominals in, and then stretching up and back at the same time. Good. So hopefully you'll feel the stretch all the way through your core there to redress that postural imbalance there. Okay. Other side. Back straight here. Tip the pelvis under. There we go. And then add the arms in if you want to. Elbows level with the ears. Breathing in. Breathing out. Tip the pelvis under. Stretching up. No hunching. Elbows level with the ears if you can. Up and over. And then we're taking that arm down. Draw the abdominals in. Remember, you're going to feel your back muscles working here, hopefully, and your abdominal muscles. Good. Up and over. And your shoulders. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. And back. And then up and back. Tip the pelvis under. Add a little bit more resistance here if you want to. Draw those abdominals in. Feel that stretch. Good. Fantastic. Okay, just put your weights or band down just for a minute. We're going to use them again in a minute. And then we're going to go into our front of the thigh stretch. So knees level, standing tall, 3 points of connection, breathing in, breathing out. Draw the abdominals in, tip the pelvis under. This is your main front of the thigh, quadriceps stretch. And then hold the foot with both hands if you can balance. Breathing in, breathing out, and repeat. Okay, and the other way. Okay, other foot, knees level, breathing in, breathe out. Tip the pelvis under, heel in towards the hip. Hold the foot with both hands if you can. Tip the pelvis under. Good, and relax. Okay, so we're going to go into our squatting, and we're going to use our band or the weights. I'm going to show you both versions. I'll do it with the band first. So just have a little practice with your squatting technique in case you've forgotten. I'm sure you haven't, because we do it every time. Anyway, feet hip distance apart. And remember, it's very important when you go into your squat, your knee alignment, make sure you're not squatting down like that. You've got to push out against your band, knees level with second or third toe, and make sure the thighs and knees don't go forward. You need to sink the hips back into that position and up again, keeping your 3 points of connection. So shoulder blades back and down. And as you come back up, push the heels into the mat, breathe in, breathe out, squeeze the buttock muscles as well. Push out against your band. So we're doing lots of things here, quite compound exercise if you like. Okay, so the arms that we're going to do today, we're going to bring the hand down to the opposite knee as we lift it. Okay, this is as we come out of the squat, so I'll show you in a minute. So it's that action. So if you want to practice it first, before we do it, because I know this one sometimes causes a little bit of a problem. Okay, so you're going to start with the arms up here. So we're going breathe in, breathe out, down into the squat. Keep the elbows level with the ears if you can. We're going into that position. As you come back up, draw the abdominals in, squeeze the bottom muscles, push the heels into the floor. Make sure you've come all the way back up. Then I want you to bring the left knee up and the right elbow goes down. Try not to lean forwards like that. Try and keep your body upright. So it's the knee really coming up to the elbow, if you like, rather than the elbow down to the knee. Oh, it's better for your back. Okay, here we go. Breathing in, breathing out. Abdominals, there, and then across. You can speed it up if you want to, or you can slow it down if you want to as well. Remember, you can go a bit lower with the squat if you want to, as long as your hip doesn't go lower than your knee. Work at your own level. You can just do a little squat, keep it nice and small, nice and slowly if you want to, or we can speed it up a little bit, there and across, there and across. Hips back, abdominals in, squeeze the bottom muscles, push the heels into the mat or floor as you come back up, there, 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 that's it, there, 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 good, and relax, and then just in that position, hold this. We're going to go into our squats again, and we're going to do our lat pull down. So we're taking as we go into our squat, we're taking the arms down, keeping the band behind us, or if it's uncomfortable on the neck, you're bringing it down in front. Okay, so this works your back muscles again. Breathing in, breathing out. So we're going down and up, down. Squeeze the bottom muscles. 3 points of connection, abdominals in. If it's too much on the neck, bring the arms down in front, there, and back. There we go. All right, speed it up a little bit if you want to. Go down a little bit lower if you want to, as long as the hips don't go lower than the knees. Squeezing and back. Squeeze. Keep the chin retracted. This way if it's more comfortable. There, there. Last one. And then we're just going to do a real deeper action. Push the heels into the floor. Little pulsing. That's it. Squeeze the bottom muscles, shoulder blades back and down. Really get those legs working. Good. Good. Well done. And relax. Thanks. Oh, I didn't show you the weights, did I? Sorry. So if you do it using the weights, it will be like that, same thing. Okay. Right, back to the centre, and we'll just finish that section off with our deep stretches. So arms out in front, right over left. Lock the elbows, push the elbows away, open the shoulder blades, and then we can just lower the elbows down and up. Breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you lift. Now try and open the shoulder blades here so you're getting that stretch. Try not to do it sort of like in this position. So you're rounding and then going up, breathing in, breathing out, and then extend the forearms further away. Good, and we'll do that on the other side. So left over right. Remember, if you find that that stretch impossible, you just take the arm across for your gentle shoulder stretch. Push the elbows away. Keep the shoulder blades open. Breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you lift. And we go there and up, there and up. Extend the forearms away and extend. That's it. And relax, arms behind you, so open up the chest, interlace the fingers if you can, stretch the arms down first and then up, opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders, feel the stretch in the arms as well, and relax, breathing in, breathing out, stretching. Good, fantastic. All right, so time to take your shoes off, if you want to, optional, and add, have some water. And we're going to go down into our deeper stretches, and we're going to do some plank variations today, a couple of different ones. Again, working at your own level as always. Okay, so feet hip distance apart. 3 points of connection. Check your neutral. Check your knees aren't rolling in. Up onto the balls of the feet. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Draw the abdominals in. Hinge the hips back. Don't arch. Relax the upper body. Relax the arms, head, neck and shoulders. Try and keep those abdominals contracted. And you're going to bend the knees, breathing in, breathing out. Straighten the legs until you feel a good stretch. Hold it for a few seconds and relax. Bend, breathing in, breathing out, abdominals in. Again, if you can, try and keep the abdominals in. Just breathe in, breathe out, increasing that stretch. Good, alternating. Bend one, straighten the other. Hinge the hip back. Good, all right, turn the feet out. So bend the knees, breathing in, breathing out, straighten the legs. Bend, hands straighten, alternate. Holding it for a few seconds. So you should find your hands getting closer towards the floor as your calves, thighs, buttocks and low back stretch out a little bit more. Great. Bend. Straighten. And turn the toes inwards. Again, bend. Straighten. Bend. And straighten. And then alternate. Bend one, straighten the other. Okay, walk the hands forward into downward dog stretch, using the grips if you want to. So stretching back, stretch the arms, stretch the shoulders back, hips up in the air, straighten the legs as much as you can, pushing the heels down towards the mat, and then come up onto the toes and down again. So think of this as a foot exercise, right up onto the balls of the feet, to the toes, and then back again, and then alternating. One and the other, stretch the back, stretch the shoulder blades, there, and back. Okay, so make sure the feet are sort of fairly wide. Bend the knees a little bit, abdominals in, and you're going to walk your hands back up towards the feet. So you actually work your body really hard by moving rather than just holding plank positions. So you're going to walk your hands forward. Normally we stop about here and go back again. This time we're going to come right the way forward into our plank, abdominals in, and then walk back again. Back to the feet and forward. So backwards and forwards, all the way into plank if you can. Remember, if you can't, if it's too much, you can always bring your knees down onto the mat. So abdominals in, forwards and back. Speed that up a little bit if you want to. If you can, come right the way forwards there into your plank and back again. There and there and forwards. Okay, this time we're going to hold it in a plank position. Okay, so we've walked forwards. Now we're going to walk to the side. So if you've got the activation band on, okay, it's quite good to do this. So you take a fairly wide step and then back again. There and back. Now the way to do this, or the way not to do it, is with your backside sticking up in the air. Try and keep your plank position. So you're going side, back, side and side. Side. Abdominals in. Draw those abdominals in. Side, side. Take it a bit further if you want. Just try and keep the back straight and abdominals in. All right, holding it there. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the knee down to the mat and up again. Down and up. So you're not bringing it forward just yet. You're just going down and up. Down and up. Down. Draw the abdominals in. Okay, and then you can come forwards into a normal exercise. Draw the abdominals in. Shoulder blades back and down. Taking a little bit further underneath you. And of course that little mini push-up if you want to. Speed it up. Good, okay. And relax. And stretch back. Sit back on your heels. Arms stretched out in front of you. Nice deep breath in and out. Relax your back, relax your arms. And come back up. On all fours. Into our cat stretch, breathing in, breathing out, rounding and retracting, rounding and retracting. There. Back. There. Back. Okay, and we're just going to flip round and we're just going to do our tricep dips. Again, you can use the grips if you want to. Just use the mat. And coming up. And we're going down and up. So bend the elbows. I know it looks like I'm doing one of these exercises. I sort of am as well. But make sure you bend the elbows and straighten. Breathing in, breathing out. You can always add a bit more with the legs if you want to. So squeeze the knees together, push the hips up a little bit higher, as well as bending and straightening the arms. And you're getting a bit of a double whammy here. There we go. Speed it up a little bit if you want to. And just double time. There. And relax. Okay, hug your knees. Nice deep breath in and out. Okay, so turn around the other way. And we're going to go into rolling down. So again, as always with your weights, with your exercise band, ball behind the back, whichever version you want to do. I'll show you some different options, of course, as always. Okay, so take the legs sort of hip distance apart, pushing out against your bands to support you, giving you resistance. Breathing in, breathing out. So close that rib cage, draw the abdominals in, opening that spine as you roll down. Then breathe in, breathe out, abdominals in, squeeze the bicep muscles as you come back up. Rolling down and up. So this is like a preparation, if you like. If you're able to go a little bit further down, just try maybe each week. Try a little bit further, rounding, squeezing. And it's not a competition. Go down as far as it's comfortable for you. If you can go all the way down and up without straining, breathing in, breathing out, coming up by all means. Add that in. All right, so we're going to add some arms in. So again, you can use the band or the weights. So as you come back up, doesn't matter if you've gone all the way down or just halfway, push the elbows into the waist and bring the hands up to the shoulders. This is your biceps, breathing in, breathing out. So we've just done the triceps because we did our triceps exercise. So it's always very good to do the opposing muscle, which is our biceps here. So breathing in, breathing out, squeeze the elbow in, bring the hands up to the shoulders if you can. If you've got the bands, you can do the same thing. You might not be able to get both up at the same time, but you might be able to. If you can't, you're just going to bring one up there and then the other one. Up to you, rolling down, squeezing, bicep muscles, elbows in, bring the hands up to the shoulders, down, don't let the knees roll in, push out against your bands, going all the way back, tuck the chin in if you're able to, coming up, squeeze the bicep muscles, rolling down, and coming up, squeezing, there we go, down, and if you want a little double time action, you can do it like that. Okay, so if you've got the band or the weights, we're going to go just to the side. So breathe in, breathing out. Hips facing the front, shoulders and chest to the side, and back. Breathing in, breathing out. So if you've got the band, you might just stretch it apart a little bit. If you've got the weights, again, you can just hold them like that. Bring one arm back a little bit more as you go there. So this focuses on the oblique muscles. Okay, so breathing in, breathing out, going there. And if you are using the band or you've got the weight, you can take the arm back a little bit more to activate those oblique muscles, the muscles on the side of the waist here. So squeeze the bicep muscle at the same time, there and back. Breathing in, breathing out, squeeze and back, squeeze and back, squeeze and back. Then just back to the centre. Again, just a little pulsing action. Stretch the band apart a little bit more, or you can just cross the weights over your chest, like that. Good. Okay, there's a few variations there. Good. And just hug your knees. Nice deep breath in and out. And then we're going to go back down into our opposite arm and opposite leg. Okay, so feet hip distance apart. Check your neutral spine as usual. Push the fingers underneath your back. Arms up in the air. Press the shoulder blades into the mat there. Breathing in, breathing out. Close that rib cage, draw the abdominals in. Opposite arm and opposite leg. And when you get the arm and leg to the floor, really lengthen and stretch through the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Now the other thing to watch here is the level pelvis. So as you close the rib cage, stretch the leg out this way. Make sure this isn't happening. Pelvis isn't tilting. It needs to be level. So something to watch here. Draw the abdominals in. You've got to feel that connection between the two pelvic bones, like an elastic band pulling between you to keep that pelvis level. Stretch, point the toe, flex, lengthen the arm, feet, both feet. That's it. And then both arms back, stretching, breathing in, breathing out. Big stretch. Draw the abdominals in. And then opening up the chest, both arms out, stretching the arms from the spine, one leg forwards. Draw those abdominals in, breathing out. And then you can take the arms back all the way around in a big circle. There and there. And then take it up into your different levels. So one leg up, one leg down. Remember, when you're doing this, don't just think, oh yeah, one leg up, one leg down. You need to draw, get core muscles engaged. So you draw the abdominals in, particularly, and squeeze the buttock muscle as well when you lift, and you'll get more core activation here, with or without the arms. Here we go. Breathing in, breathe out abdominals, squeeze the buttock muscle, bring that leg up and down. So work at your own level. All right, bring the legs up into the tabletop position. And then just bring it down as long as you can keep your neutral spine position. And of course you can extend the leg fully. Breathing in, breathing out. There and back. Remember to keep the shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Try not to hunch the shoulders and stretch back like that. There we go, there. Speed it up a little bit if you want to, and you can add in your abdominal curl, side to side, curl up as far as it's comfortable. Great. Okay, so we're going to do our exercise where we take our legs out and lift the head up, and we work on our hips and our pelvis, our buttock muscle as well. So we're going to start off in this position, breathing in, breathing out. Feet are together. Okay, so you open one knee to the side without the hips moving. You keep it still, keep them still. Lower, and then squeeze the buttock muscle as you bring the leg back up. Breathing in, breathing out abdominals. Take the leg the other way and squeeze. Make sure that hip isn't coming off the mat. Breathing in, breathing out abdominals. Squeeze the buttock muscle. There and back. Breathing in, breathing out. So this is just sort of level one. We're going to do it with the feet off the floor in a minute. So bear with me if you think this is a bit easy. Breathing in, breathing out. Then we're going to do both at the same time. And again, with this exercise, it's how you do it. So not just open and close, open and close. Breathing in, breathing out, abdominals open. Now when you come back up, squeeze the buttock muscles and bring the legs together. Breathing in, breathing out, squeeze as you open. Abdominals, squeeze and back. So activating a little bit more. So if that feels okay, we're going to do the same thing with the feet in our tabletop position. Okay, so breathing in, breathing out. Keep the feet together, squeeze the feet together, and you're taking one knee out and back. Breathing in, breathing out, and the other one. There, breathing in, breathing out. So squeeze the feet together. That's it. You can always add the ball in here actually if you want to. Want a little bit more instability going on there. Makes it a little bit more of a challenge. And then of course both at the same time. So you have to squeeze the ball, you have to squeeze the feet together here, otherwise you'll lose the ball. Squeezing, open, breathing in, breathing out, there and back, there and back. Okay, so that's not, we haven't finished yet. Keep the hands on the knees. Okay, so that's the start of your exercise. Breathing in, breathing out. feet together, bring the knees back in. Now when you bring the knees back in, you're going to extend the legs away from you and curl up if you're able to, and then take the arms up and over a couple of times, and then you're bringing it back again. Breathing in, breathing out, squeeze the feet, open, breathe in, breathe out and back, extend the legs, curling up, and then up and over 2 or 3 times if you want to. Keep the abdominals in. If you're finding it too much here, bring the legs a little bit higher, and you will find a lot more going on if you're holding the ball here. Curl up as far as it's comfortable and back. Okay, speed it up a little bit if you want to. There, take it up 2 or 3 times and back, apart, squeezing, there and back, up and over and back. Again, squeeze, open, close and up and over. Hold it there. Okay, then I want you to hold that position, the hands behind the head. If it's too much, head on the mat, and you can just move the legs up and down like that. So it's quite good if you've got the ball. If you haven't, just do like a scissor action, like that. Draw the abdominals in. Good, okay, and then relax that bit up again. So that will be what you were doing. Abdominals in, and then we're just going to crisscross. Small crisscross first, and then we're going to take it apart and together. Draw the abdominals in, curl up, there, 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 and then finally reaching up, little pulsing action with or without the hands. Draw the abdominals in, little pulsing action. Point the toes, flex the feet as you're pulsing, stretching the legs. Good, all right, now relax. Good, hug your knees, nice deep breath in. And now circle the hips round one way and the other way. That's it, and then we're going to go into our spine stretch. So arms out to the side, stretch the arms from the spine, shoulder blades pressed into the mat. Breathing in, breathing out, roll the hips one way, head the other, and keep that opposite shoulder and shoulder blade and the arm into the floor. Breathing in, breathing out, head in the opposite direction, stretching, lengthening. Good, and back. Breathing in, breathing out. There. Good. All right, feet back onto the mat. Hands down by your side, and just relax the head and the neck. That's it. And up and down. Good. All right, roll over onto your side. So we're just going to do some little hip circles, obviously for the hips and for the legs. So rest your head on your arm or the ball, it's up to you. Both legs stretched out, body in a straight line. Make sure your lower back isn't arched. Remember, as always with these exercises, if it's too uncomfortable, if you find it pulling on your low back, bring both legs a little bit further forwards. There. All right, breathing in, breathing out. So you're going to stretch both legs, lift the top leg up, and you bring it back down again. Breathing in, breathing out as you lift, breathing in as you lower. It's the same as usual with this exercise. If you want more of a challenge, keep the bottom leg off the mat as you're doing this. It's up to you. Point the toe, flex the foot alternately. There and there. And I'm going to hold it in that position. Draw the abdominals in, and we're going to do small circles with that leg. Small circles. Draw the abdominals in. Now remember, try not to use momentum to throw the leg. The circle comes from the hip joint. So it doesn't have to be a big circle. You can make it bigger if you want to. But it's working the muscles around the hip joint, your lower back as well, of course. And then we're going to circle the other way. Take a rest if you need to. Again, if you want to make it harder, you can do it with the other leg off the mat. Your choice. There, there, there. Good, and relax. And just do it to fatigue. Do a few more there if you want to. I'll take a rest. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So rest your head on your arm. Bend or straight. Body in a straight line. Take the legs a bit further forwards if you need to. Breathing in, breathing out. Lengthen the body, stretch that leg, point the toe and flex the feet alternately. Lengthening the lumbar spine, draw those abdominals in. Breathing out, breathing in. There, if you want to work harder, bottom leg off the mat. That just gives you that little bit more of a challenge, but make sure it feels okay on your lower back. There. And there, good. We're going to hold it as high as it's comfortable for you. And we're going to do some hip circles. As I said, the hip circles are small and controlled. You can make the circle bigger as long as you're in control there and your hips aren't not wobbling about. That's it. Draw the abdominals in. If you want to work harder, bottom leg can come off the mat. Again, it's quite challenging. You're going to feel it around, strengthening the muscles around the hip joint, the pelvis, and then the other way. Small circle, a little bit bigger if you want to. Good, and it's quite challenging, particularly if you've got the activation band. If you haven't got the activation band, you can do a few more. Fantastic. All right, we'll roll back over. And you're going to take your bands off now if you've got the activation band on. We're just going to go into our low back stretch in a minute. First of all, just want you to bring the hands in between the legs, grab your ankles, draw the feet in towards you, turn the knees out to the side. Okay, feet back on the mat, so we're going to go into our low back stretch. And I'm just going to put the music on. And then we'll go into our final stretches and relaxation. Okay, so first of all, into your low back stretch, stretch the legs out, both arms up, big stretch up, point the toes, flex the feet, and bring the left knee in towards the chest. You can add resistance here if you want to, so draw the hands in, push your thigh up against your hands, and press your lower back into the mat. Point the toes, flex the feet, curl up if you want to. Good, stretching out again. Point the toes, flex the feet, bring the right leg in, press your back into the mat. Good, and again, big stretch up. Good, last one. Good, okay, so grab your activation band or your stretchy band. I'm going to go into our stretches. Okay, so nice and relaxed. Wrap the band around your left foot. Right leg out along the floor, on the mat. Neutral spine position. And point the toes, breathing in. Flex the feet. Breathing out. And use the band to stretch the leg back a little bit more. Point and flex. And I want you to keep the foot flexed and turn the foot inwards and outwards. All right, hold the band in one hand. Take the left leg over to the right, so the hip comes off the mat, and then move that leg forwards and backwards. Keep the foot flexed for a deeper stretch. Good. All right, swap hands. And take the left leg out to the left. So when you do this, turn the leg outwards as well, so you're getting that inner thigh stretch. Use the band to bring the foot back a little bit more, and then move the leg forwards and backwards. Great. All right, change legs. Okay, left leg out along the mat. Point the toes, flex the feet. Draw that leg back a little bit more. hold the foot in a flexed position and turn the legs inwards and outwards. Alright, take the right leg over back to the left. Keep the foot flexed. Take the leg over as far as it's comfortable for you and move the leg forwards and backwards. Bring that stretch in the buttock muscle, the outer thigh. Alright, bring the leg back, swap hands, and we take the right leg out to the right now. Turn the leg outwards as well as you do it, so you really are focusing on that inner thigh. Again, move that leg forwards and backwards. Great, alright. Take the band away now. And we're just going to finish off with our hip stretch. So pelvis level, neutral spine position. Left foot on the bent right knee, breathing in, breathe out and turn that leg out a little bit more without the pelvis twisting. Okay, if you need more of a stretch, grab the back of the other thigh. Alright, change legs. Left foot on the bent right knee, level pelvis. Good, alright then. Fantastic, so into your relaxation position, on your back, into your child's pose stretch, up to you, legs bent, legs straight, knees apart, arms relaxed, head relaxed, you want no tension anywhere in the body. Find your most comfortable position and then just let the tension go in the neck, in the shoulders, in the arms, in the hands. You can tense them and then relax if you want, if that helps. Relax your back, relax your hips, relax your legs. So you've got no tension in the body anywhere. All the muscles relaxed. And then we're going to add in our Pilates breathing. So deep breath in through the nose, ribcage expanding, remember sideways. Too much. And long, slow breath out through the mouth, ribcage closing, draw the abdominals in. And again, deep breath in through the nose, ribcage expanding. This time try and hold it for a few seconds before you breathe out through the mouth, ribcage closing. Again, try and hold it for a few seconds. And then repeat that sequence in your own time, focusing on the deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, the rise and fall of the rib cage, and then working on holding the breaths a little bit longer so your breathing slows down and that takes you into more of a state of relaxation. Continue with that sequence, just relaxing. The breathing slow down. Alright, we're going to slowly come back up. Come back on all fours. And we're going into our cat stretch first. Working on flexibility of our spine and retracting of the shoulder blades. Lengthen through the spine here, shoulder blades back and down, breathing in. Breathing out, draw the abdominals in, rounding the shoulders. And then slowly come back up. Hips up in the air, stretch back, shoulder blades back and down, and bend and straighten alternately, trying to lengthen through the back of the legs, particularly the calves here, stretching back, stretch your spine, and then walk the hands back up towards the feet, bend the knees a little bit, breathing in, breathing out, draw the abdominals in, slowly rolling up. Good, all the way back. Back to your start position. relax the arms and just roll the shoulders forwards, up, back and down. Good, and stretching up both arms up, reaching up, hands behind the head, bring the head forwards. Good, and relax. Great, I hope you enjoyed that. So today we really focused on quite a bit of our back exercises, and then we did some quite intense plank work, some different variations there, which of course works your whole body, back, legs, arms, shoulders, everything. Good, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you soon.